and welcome to a special Children's Day edition of Financial Q&A with my investor. Today is not just for the kids, it's also a time to reflect on the money lessons we learned growing up and how they have shaped us now. So I brought in Uamaka to walk down memory lane with me. Let's talk pocket money, money mistakes, piggy banks, and what you would do differently with the next generation. Hi Uamaka, welcome to an episode of Financial Q&A. Yeah, so my first question for you is, what was your earliest memory of money as a child?
My mom used to buy us colos, all of us, all four of us. And then we used to put money, slip money in. When they give you money, dad gives you money, one aunt comes, gives you money. You know, you have money, you put it in, slip it in, and you slip it in like that over time. And I remember that there was a lot of excitement when we went to break it open. And then I think that taught us, maybe that time we didn't know that what it was teaching us. It taught us how to save, at least in the first instance, which is a very grand lesson.
What money lessons did your parents intentionally or unintentionally teach you while growing up?
My parents, I believe, they taught us how to save for just in case something happens. I think I'll just speak to one life experience we had experienced as a family, and I know that what kept us going was the extra they had kept, aside. And I think at that time it was really rough because we came from having enough, more than enough, to just enough. Let's put it that way. So I think what really worked, and maybe they never really sat us down to say, okay, this is, but it was the unintentional experience, or like you put it, unintentional lesson that they now taught us, and which is, you have to keep money aside just in case, because life is unpredictable.
So do you think this mindset followed you into adulthood?
Absolutely. It followed me into adulthood because I already understand that you have to grow your money. So maybe back then I was just taught how to save. But with the experiences and the exposure I have now, I realize that you have to grow your money. So it's not just keeping money, for plan B or for, any life-changing, experience. It's also growing money such that if anything happens, it may not even be a bad thing. It could just be maybe a project you want to embark on, expenses, maybe travel expenses, you want to give yourself a treat. Keep money and let the money grow such that it can meet that need, and indeed they can be extra.
What was something you had to unlearn about money as you got older?
Okay, as I got older, maybe it's this thing about starting a business or investing in a business. So I used to just believe that if you have to put money in a business, you have to run the business. And I just felt, okay, my personality, I'll just be sharing all the goods and I won't make any profit. But I think, having worked in financial services for a couple of years now, I've come to understand that you don't necessarily have to run the business to make profit from the business. And I just used to believe, okay, my salary was fine. All I just need 9 to 5, I'll just put a portion of my salary in savings and investments and I'm good. But if you want to experience, actual wealth, you can put money in a business without actually running the business. So I think that's one mindset that has changed over time for me.
If you had a child today, how would you teach them about money different?
I think I'll break my answer down to 3 subheads. It will be savings, budgeting, and investment. So let's pick savings first. So they're at an age where they're really little and they have a lot of toys. So I think I've started to incorporate, you can't open all the toys all at once. You can't even play with them all at once. It's just one at a time. So don't open all the toys out all at once. That's I think is a savings lesson for their age. And then of course when they grow, I start to teach them things about budgeting. There's the 50-20-30 rule. The 50 that speaks to your needs, the 20 to savings and investments, and then the 30 to your wants. You start to incorporate that in when they begin to comprehend better. Like say maybe when they're from like 5 to like 10, reasonably. I start to teach them that. And then of course the investment part, of course I've started to invest for them already, and then teach them at the age where they now understand what it is to handle such investments. Teach them how to invest and why it's important to invest.
What is one money rule you would want every child in Nigeria to grow up with?
Okay, I'd say save before you spend. Once you start receiving money, money starts getting to your hand directly. Don't think that it's time to now eat with all your 10 fingers. You have to save at least a portion of it before you spend. And don't be moved by what you see on social media. Not all fingers are equal. This person can have much money than you, you think the person has, and you're just live within your means generally. Don't ever be forced, to do what you're seeing other people do. Don't be moved by what you see on social media. Save before you spend.
If a 10-year-old you had access to a My Investor account today, what would you have invested in?
This is really interesting. 10-year-old me, I was into okay, so I'd probably invest, and there was a My Investor app. Maybe I'd click the button where the manufacturers of goody goody could supply me cartons and cartons of goody, because I was into goody goody at 10 years old.
This Children's Day, let's not only post throwbacks. Let's think about how we are shaping the next generation of financially smart Nigerians. Whether you're a parent, older sibling, or just planning ahead, now is the time to build your money legacies. And if you want to start small, even for your younger ones, My Investor is a great place to grow your money with purpose. Thank you for tuning in to today's edition. See you next time. Bye.